After a tough work week, as usual, I decided to get out of town. I have my own cottage in the forest. I packed some groceries, threw them in the trunk, and hit the road. I arrived in the evening, exhausted from the journey, and immediately fell asleep. I fell asleep quickly and deeply. I was awakened by the sound of the car alarm. Well, I thought maybe some animal ran by. I glanced out the window, made sure there were no thieves, and turned off that awful noise. I lay down again and just started to doze off when the alarm. Without getting up, I pressed the button and everything went quiet. But after 5 minutes, the alarm blared again. Okay, once is fine. Twice is okay. But more than that, you start to think the worst. A little shaken, I finally got up, turned it off again, but instead of lying down, I began to watch through the curtain who decided to play around in the middle of the night like this. I watched, and then I saw behind the light of the lamppost in the bushes, someone's shadow beginning to emerge. And the shadow approached the car, revealing its outlines. Something thin, in a black cloak with a hood, over 2 meters tall with long thin arms, slowly approached the car, tapped on the wheel, and retreated back into the bushes. At that moment, I realized it was time to start being afraid. Trembling with fear, I disabled the alarm and continued to watch. Something emerged from the bushes, approached the gates, reached over them, and removed the barrier holding the gate doors closed. This creature was heading for the front door. Fear gripped me. Who is this? What does it want from me? Why isn't it leaving? I couldn't move. Shivers ran from my head to my feet and back, giving my body a strong tremor. My mouth went dry. Panic thoughts began to paint terrifying pictures. Clenching my teeth and fists, I snapped out of it and ran downstairs as quickly as possible, and only then did my hand reach for the switch to find something, anything to defend myself against the guest. I froze because it was looking in the window, pressing its hands against the glass. It peered in, checking if anyone was home or not. That's when I understood. All these antics with the car were to lure a victim outside. Why? I didn't want to and still don't want to know. But the fact remains, it's here and it's looking for me. Its breath caused the window to fog up, and I was glad for it because I couldn't tear my gaze away from its face. Ocean-colored skin, wrinkled, deep, small black eyes like beads. Instead of a nose, there were 2 holes. Its breath was so heavy and hoarse that it felt like my own lungs were constricting. There were no lips, only 2 rows of sharp yellow. I wasn't visible as I was deep inside the house, but it wasn't going to just leave like that. Standing by the window, it approached the door. Knock, followed by another. Through the crack under the door, I saw it trying to slip its fingers under the door. The handle began to shake frantically up and down. And the sounds, it didn't sound like a human voice. It was like animal growling. You know when you start taking a bone away from a dog and it growls in anger? Something similar to those sounds, only more sinister and guttural, emanated from this creature. I knew that if it heard me, it wouldn't leave me alone and would find a way to get into the house. So I just lay on the stairs and waited for it to end. Tears involuntarily streamed down my face, no matter how hard I tried to hold them back. My temples began to throb so much that it felt like my soul was shaking. I blacked out. When I woke up, I immediately looked at the door. The door was intact. I had never been so happy getting up from the steps. I looked out the window. It was already daylight outside, and the sun was quite high in the sky. Without much thought, I went upstairs, grabbed the keys, and without packing anything, went to the... Stepping outside, I saw its footprints on the ground. Proof that I'm not crazy. This was also evidenced by the broken handle, scratches on the door, and gate boards lying in the middle of the road. Jumping into the car, I drove away from that village. On the way, turning on the radio, I heard that 2 girls' bodies had been found in the area of that village in the morning. The bodies were mutilated and dumped in the swamp. It still found what it was looking for.